Lovies. Welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May. I'm May. Welcome to my old and new subbies. I'm so glad to have you all here with me today. As the thumbnail show, we are going to be doing some home decor ideas. I hope you can find some inspiration along the way. Before we jump into this first project of Lovies, I just wanted to jump on and say thank you. As some of you have may have heard or known, I recently lost my sister on December 8th, and I needed to step away, take some time away to help go through that process as we prepare to lay her to rest. It has been a journey, but we are making the final preparations for her. So I just wanted to jump on and say thank you to each one of you that reached out to me, whether it was by phone call or a message or however, chat, email, whatever the case may be. I want to say thank you. I did try to acknowledge everyone. If I missed your message or comment or whatever, please understand that it was not intentional. Things were just if you've ever lost someone, you know, going through this process, the grieving process can be a bit much. It was a little challenging for me being away from my family. So just know that I more than likely I saw it, and I will try to acknowledge it if I haven't already done so. But I just wanted to again to say thank you for being who you are. You guys are an awesome community to be a part of, and I'm so grateful that God allowed our paths to cross. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first project.
All right, Lovey, so we are starting with this sled that I found at the Goodwill. It was either $5.99 or $3.99, and I did get 10% off of it. I did like the color of this, but I wanted to lighten it up a bit more. And this actually, it looks like somebody built this. I don't think it was store-bought, but I did love the wood that they used on here. But like I said, I wanted to give this a lighter tone. Now, if you happen to come across these, I've seen them in all kind of Goodwills and Salvation Army and things like that. So I'm sure you may come across one if you're looking for it. I wasn't looking for this. I just had it. So, but yeah, or you can always create your own. I've done that too using paint stir sticks. So, but yeah, anyway, as you see I'm doing here, I'm just going in with some distressing using some white paint by FolkArt. Any white paint will do. If you're not into distressing, you know, you can always omit this part and just leave it in the natural wood color, or you can just stain the wood to your liking. That's what I did when I used the paint stir sticks. I did stain them. But right here, I'm taking some of these. I think these are cedar picks, I think. And I'm clipping down the stem part of it. And you'll see later on I'm going to clip them even shorter. I thought I was going to need them at that length to do to stack them how I want, but you guys will see as we go forward. So next, what I'm doing right here is I took this jute rope from Dollartree and I tied knots on either end of them, and I'm just adding in some hot glue, as you can see right here. That's just to secure that knot to make sure it doesn't slip. And what we're going to do is, you know, it's age-old technique. I'm sure you saw or you've seen it many times. I've done it in the past as well, where you take the knot, you cut it away from the jute rope, and you glue one on one side and the rope on the other side to give that illusion that the knot is coming through the wood piece. So that's what we're doing here. We're not doing anything special. I tried to get it as even on the bottom as possible so it can kind of sit upright so you can really see those knots. I wanted that rustic look. And so I do apologize being out of frame. I was trying to bring the shot closer, but all I was doing is just to make, all I was doing, sorry, is just trying to make sure they were lined up with the bottom parts of the sled there. And so then next, as you see right here, I'm just going in and I'm adding some hot glue to the rope part of this. Now this is not going to be hanging, it is going to be a floor leaner, so I wasn't too concerned about just using hot glue here. This is where I am stacking up the cedar picks, and I'm just kind of going in an upside down fan motion or direction, I guess. I don't know, fan pattern. So I'm just layering them like, no, I just want it to be really full, kind of like a beard almost, I guess. And so I think I used maybe 9 or 12 of the picks. I'm not 100% sure, but I just went until it was full and I liked it. So this is where I saw that they were a little bit too long, and so I just, while they were glued down, just start clipping them off. They didn't pop off. I was really surprised, but I just clipped them down. And then right here, I'm taking some of these hanging ice skate ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby, and all I did was I took one of the hanging pieces and looped it onto the other one, and I just added some hot glue there, and that was only to make sure that it was secured in place. I do want them dangling, but I didn't want that bottom piece like just all over the place. So then next right here, because I wanted to make this interchangeable, I'm going to just go ahead and place a nail in here. And I got to tell you, whatever type of wood they used, it rejected this nail. I could not get it to go through. It got maybe 1/4 of an inch through, and then it just stopped. And I was just banging and banging, and I was like, okay, I don't want to break the wood or anything. So I left it extended out a bit, but it's okay. With such a small nail, you can't even see it once I add in the other embellishments. But right here is where I want to show you where you can switch this out. You can add a little wreath to it. If you wanted to take the ice skates off, you can just put it with a bow, which we are going to add a bow here in just a minute or so. But or you can, you know, the options are endless. You could add dangling pine cones here, or bells, you know. So I just thought it was super cool to have that nail there. Now, probably should have used the nail with hook, but I didn't think about it till afterwards. But I could easily pull that nail out and just place one of the hooks in there if I need to. But right here, I am taking one of my Khaki Joe bows, and I thought this was very fitting for this piece. I feel like it really matched those cedar picks, and it's not too, it didn't scream Christmas to me. It was more of winter woodland vibes that I was getting, which is what I was going for, and I really like the way this came together. So right here, I have some of these little miniature pine cones that were in my stash, left over from fall. They're the ones that, they're the pumpkin spice or cinnamon scent that you can find at I want to say, I feel like I got them from Hobby Lobby. I may have got them from Dollar Tree. I honestly can't remember, guys. But anyway, they were in my stash, and I just went ahead and flocked them with a little bit of a white paint, just to make them tie in more with those ice skates. And so then I had this rusted bell that Khaki Joe has sent me as well. And I'm just going to add that right off to the side on that bow. Not right in the middle, just kind of off to the side. I don't know why I thought to do it that way, but I liked it, so I just went with it. I don't know. It just worked in my opinion. Maybe it doesn't, but I just felt like it did. So then I'm just going to add in the little mini pine cones, and yeah, and that'll be it. You know, and mentioning Khaki Joe, while you guys are sending up prayers for me, also send prayers up for her. I don't want to go into personal details, but you know, send prayers up for her family. She did share about her dad, so I won't go any further beyond that. But he is recovering, and that is a blessing. So just continue to pray for her as well. You know, there's a lot going on right now, and you know, it just never hurts to have many of us come together and pray for one another. So that's pretty much it for this piece. I will show the rest of it. I will show it in the final reveal. And we're going to just go ahead and jump into our next project. So I had these wood planks or wood signs in my stash that I ordered from Amazon probably a year or two ago, possibly. But they're 12 inches and they're very thin. So what I'm doing right here is taking some of the wood glue you can find at Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna put these two pieces together. I got this idea from Jenny. She does this with the Dollar Tree planks, and so I was like, here, let me just try it and put them together, and it actually worked really well. Another thing you can do as well, if your board or sign is too thin, you can always add paint stir sticks to the back of them. I've done that as well, but I wanted this sign to be thicker. So that's why I didn't do the paint stir sticks. But what I did right here was I took some blue paint. Now I'm going in while that paintbrush is still wet and adding in some white paint to create an ombre effect. And I do apologize, guys, that I am a little lagging or just all over the place, but hopefully you're able to follow along. The projects were all pretty easy to do. So like I said, I'm just going in, and as I get towards the bottom there, you see I'm using more white paint, and then at the top I have more blue paint because I wanted to kind of give that sky blue and snow on the ground effect is what I was going for. And then I just did some light distressing around the edges of the top part there. So next, I'm taking some of my rub-on transfers from my stash, as well as I did a cutout that says Hello Winter, and it had these little snowflakes on them. I did that cutout from my Cricut Joy. And now if you don't have a Cricut Joy, I've said this many times in the past that you can always use stickers, or you can even order rub-on transfers that say Hello Winter and things like that if you don't have a Cricut. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, you probably would come out paying about the same amount that you would even if you had a Cricut, because I have found rub-on transfers for very inexpensive price, being very inexpensively priced. So just, a word to put out there for you guys. But what I wanted to do right here is I wanted to go further with that Woodlands vibe that I was going. I didn't want it too woodsy. I wanted that little mix of snow and wood vibe kind of mixed together. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's the vibe I was going without going too far in the woods, So I just wanted to create this whole woodland vibe at the bottom, just to kind of give that nice little scenery at the bottom here. But I have to say, I really like the way this came out today. I liked all of the projects today. My heart was really happy and full because I have been struggling trying to come up with things to create. There was several times I sat at my crafting table and I just didn't have it in me to create anything. So as these projects came together, I was so grateful, and I was just so thankful that God gave me the vision and I was able to execute it. So I really do like everything, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I know woodlands and winter decor is not usually everybody's cup of tea, but hopefully you see something here, you can take it and make it your own, because I do feel like these can just be, you can just start on your spring stuff, or if you're into Valentine's Day, the options are endless. It's just about using your imagination to come up with, whatever decor suits your need. So I did cut out some more stars, right? Not stars, snowflakes right there, because it was a lot of blank space on here. Like I had the vision, but I didn't sized my cutout right, so I had a lot of negative space. And I've shared with you guys in the past, when I see that, it's really hard for me to let it go, and I just feel like something has to go there. So of course I just kept going, and I do in this instance really like that I kept going. So I just took some of that furry yarn and I glued it to the back with some hot glue. This is a very lightweight piece, and I'm just taping it down with some very thin painter's tape. And like I said, I was just adding in the rub-on transfers until I like them. So then next, what I'm going to do is take some of this scrap lamps here that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to position these on the side. Now I wanted to do a little bit of a different twist on this, opposed to putting the floral embellishments at the top. I wanted to go to the side with this. Now this is no big whoop to do. You see many content creators do this, but I wanted to try it on this particular wood blank, just because I like the cutout of it, and I thought it would be cute. And I don't know, I liked it. Like I said, at the end of the day, I really liked all the projects, and I love the color contrast here with that white and light blue, and then that greenery that's coming in. It's not too overbearing. It was just like the right amount of color balance to me. So yeah, so here what I'm doing is just cutting off those little stems. As you can see, again, I was leaving them on just like the first project, because I thought it was going to add some length to them, but it actually didn't, and so there was no need for them. So here I'm just taking some hot glue and positioning them how I want them, and then once I do that, I'm just going to come in with my florals. So I am sorry I left so much of this in there, but yeah. So like I said, I'm just going in with the hot glue and adding that in, and I only used 4 leaves here. And then right here, I decided that it needed just a little extra bit of green, but not anything too dark. So I decided to go in with these pine picks that I got off of Amazon, and I just decided to put them on top of the lamb's ear. And I really love this, guys. I know I've said it already, but I hope you like it too. And so yep, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue those right down in the middle there. And at first I was going to do 2 of the white florals. I don't know if I left that in there, but once I did it, it took away from the whole project. Like, it was just too overbearing. So what I decided to do is take some of this white eucalyptus that I had, and it's just plastic. It came off a plastic pick that I had, and I just went in with, I think, 3 pieces. I don't think I used 4. I think I only used 3, and just kind of tuck them in there again, giving a little a bit more pop of white to it. And here I'm just adding in some more rub-on transfers, because I thought that floral piece of it would go down a little bit further, but like I said, and if you guys have been around with me, you guys know I'm not the best at measuring space, but I just added it all in until I liked it, and that's it for this piece. So next we have this vase. You can find these at Dollar Tree, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I don't know what size it is, but it's a larger vase. I want to say it was probably about 10 or 12 inches in height, and probably about 6 inches around. If I had to guess, I'm not sure, but I know Dollar Tree has them for $5, $5 or $7. I'm not sure, but I know, I feel like it was Michael's or Hobby Lobby had them for like $7.99 or something like that. But anyway, what I'm doing right here is I'm going to do a stencil that I cut out from my Cricut Joy, and it's just the word that says home. Now I do have some stencil vinyl, but because I'm working with this glass and it's very delicate, that stencil vinyl is very sticky. And I was afraid that if I put too much pressure that I may break the glass. So I chose to go with some of my removable vinyl that I don't use all the time. And I had gotten this like really cheap. I want to say I got this color vinyl for like $2 at Michael's. So, because it was on clearance. But anyway, so basically you just, all you do is you cut the word out and you just take out the word and you leave the rest of the vinyl to create your stencil. Now right here I was trying to decide where I wanted to position this. I ultimately end up doing it right in the middle, as you'll see right here. So I was really guesstimating on if this was angled correctly, and it actually came out pretty good. I positioned it pretty well, so I was pretty impressed with that. But what I'm doing is just I'm going to rub it onto the glass, and then I'm just going to pull back the carrier sheet. So that's just going to leave the vinyl stuck to the glass, and I'm going to be very careful here. Like I said, I don't want to apply too much pressure to this glass because it is so delicate. And so this is really sped up because I was so nervous, and I was just like, please don't break, please don't break. And especially applying that pressure right in the middle, it was making me nervous. So next, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the back of this weeding tool and I'm just pressing out any air bubbles that I see around the spelling of the word, because what we're going to do is we're going to etch on the word home, and I didn't want that etching cream to get under there. Now, if you've been with me anytime, you see me do this technique in the past. I don't do a lot of etching on my channel because I actually don't have a lot of glass in my home because I'm just so clumsy. But I have always wanted to do one of these vases with the little sceneries in it, like a diorama almost. And so I wanted to do that for my centerpiece in the kitchen. And so I was like, okay, I want something that says, like, something I can transition it out. So, you know, I can change it with the seasons if I wanted to. So this was the way I thought I'd do that. And I could just put home on it. And that way, if I wanted to put actual florals in here, or just, again, switch it out with the seasons, I thought this was a really cool way to do this. Now, you can totally just do stickers on here. You don't have to do any etching if you don't have the cream to do this. You can totally just put stickers on it, and I think you'll get the same vibe. Or you can just leave it blank. I've seen many people do that. But anyway, how you apply the etching cream, as you can see there, this is a situation where more is better. So you really want to pile that cream on there and let it sit for roughly about 1 to 3 minutes. I usually let it sit for about 5, but you leave the stencil on, then you take some gloves. Of course, you have to wear gloves because it will burn your skin, and you do need to be in a well-ventilated area. And you just take it and you wash it off with lukewarm water and soap, and it comes right off. But what I did right there was I also took some alcohol and I wiped off the rest of that residue, because I just didn't, in case I missed something, I just didn't want any etching cream to get on any other parts of the glass, which it actually did, but it's not really noticeable. But it was just my trial and error while I was putting it on. I got a little too heavy-handed, and some of it did seep under the little bubbles that I was saying that we were trying to press out earlier. It did seep under there, but we're going to scrape that little residue away, and it's hardly noticeable. You know, I feel like the end result here was, it came out beautiful to me. And this is a project that is super versatile. Like I say, you can just leave this as is. If you just wanted to put rocks and lights in here, I mean, I think that would be super pretty, like rocks with candles. I think that would be absolutely beautiful to just see that word home on here. And I love etching glass, I really do. But I know a lot of you guys don't have it, so I don't do it that much on the channel. But if you like this, let me know. We can definitely do more of it. I just don't do a lot of glass. in the house. But right here I'm taking one of these wood slices that came in a pack. I'm not sure if I got these from Hobby Lobby or if I got these from Dollar Tree. But again, keeping to that woodlands theme and kind of the vibe in my home, I'm going to just take some of my Aleene's tacky glue and a little bit of hot glue, and we're going to add this to the bottom of this vase just to give it a slight stand to it. That's it. This is not necessary. You could totally leave this flat. If you want to add more height to this, what you can do is add a candlestick holder to the bottom, but I did not want this to be a high piece, again, because it is glass and I just don't trust myself with it. So I just decided to go this route. And then next, I'm taking some of these white rocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take one of these Christmas trees from my stash, and I'm just trying to remove that bottom piece. I thought it would just screw off, but it did not. So I just took my snipping tool there, and it did eventually pop off. And we're just going to style that down into the vase. Now, I thought I was recording right here, but I wasn't. But as you guys can see, I just added in a different kind of wood slice, some winter florals. Here, I'm adding in another piece of that cedar pick. And it had some little pine cones on it. And that's all I'm doing, like just getting it situated there. Like I said, I just wanted to create this whole winter vibe. A winter woodland vibe, and I'm sorry about that. And then I had this little white bird that I'm just gonna perch up on that little wood slice, and this is kind of like an oval shaped wood slice. Those came from Hobby Lobby as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm gonna put a little candle down in here. Now you can also use fairy lights with this. And I think it would look absolutely beautiful, but I just didn't feel like wrestling with the fairy lights, and I thought, okay, one little tea light candle would work perfect in here. Then I'm going to take some of this berry pick that I had, or beaded pick, stick those down in there, a couple of the little mini pine cones right in the front of there, and I can't wait for you guys to see this in the final reveal. This is absolutely beautiful. Just to see that the home word right in front, and then to see this whole scenery is absolutely gorgeous. All right, so we are going to do a terracotta teacup. Okay, and I'm sorry I don't remember which one we're on. I didn't go back and look at my last video. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were like on 78, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or 79. Something like that. I honestly can't remember, but hopefully by the time I do the next video, I'll have the accurate number for you guys. But I do have 2 terracotta teacups for you today. So for those joining us for the first time on this channel, we have been taking terracotta pots, adding a handle to them, and calling them terracotta teacups. What we do with those is we take each cup and we make a theme for it. And yeah. And so we are now, again, I can't remember what number, but this one, again, as you can see, I painted that in white. I added the handle, which I painted in burnt umber, and then the wood slice, as you can see, I did some distressing of white paint on that. Again, continuing on with the woodland vibe. So next I had this nest in my stash that I do believe came from Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, I'm adding in some white paint to that as well. And I go all over that except for the bottom part. I didn't add any there. So then I have these birchwood pieces. Now these actually came from a Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut them in quarters. Okay. And yeah, so some of them are a little brittle and didn't cut easily, but I did end up getting enough pieces for what I wanted. And so I'm just going to stack them around the base. And then I had this leftover piece from one of those pine picks, and I'm going to remove that stem from it and turn it upside down because I wanted to use it as a tree. And I'm just going to stick that off to the side of our terracotta teacup. Now I decided to take those little birchwood pieces and stack them around the base of the terracotta teacup. Now looking at this now, I'm not sure why I decided to do that. I guess just to tie more into the Woodlands theme. I don't know, but right here I'm just trimming off some of the side of that pine pick so it would lay flush to the cup. And I forgot all about it, and I just started sticking the birch pieces on, and I forgot to leave a space for the tree, but I still make it work. In the end, it just sits a little further back than what I wanted, but it still works out for us. So once I get that positioned, I'm just gonna go in with some hot glue where I trimmed off those little pieces, and I'm just gonna stick it to the side. Like I said, it just went back a little further, like I said, than what I had planned for. And right here I'm just removing some of that hot glue that got globbed up around there, and I'm just gonna stick that to the piece, and then I'm gonna add a little hot glue to set that nest in place. Now I wasn't sure about putting the nest on here for the owl that I'm going to be using. I think I'm jumping ahead. Of course I am. Okay, so I had some more of those little miniature pine picks. Again, I can't tell. I feel like these did come from Hobby Lobby. Like I said, they're from the fall, and they were in my fall stash. But I'm just placing, I think, 2 or 3 of them on the base of here. And I did not add any white paint to those, but because I wanted that brown to come through, because I had so much white going on here. So right here, sorry guys, right here I have this owl that I got from Michael's actually, and I loved it. I thought it was so pretty, and it was a pick as well. So I removed the stem out of that and everything, and I'm just going to put that right on top of the nest with just a little dab of hot glue, not too much, because in the event I want to disassemble this and use it for something else, which I doubt I will, but just never know. And it didn't really need any glue. It sat down in there perfectly, but I just wanted to make sure. So right here, I'm going in with some Mod Podge, and I'm taking some faux snow and just adding that to this, because the bottom part of this, the reason I painted it in white is because I wanted to give it that snow effect. But, you know, that was just my mind going. I don't know if that's what I accomplished. I probably should have made it look more like a tree bark. But yeah, I didn't. So that's that. So right here, I'm adding in some greenery just to the back of this, just because I needed it. It was so brown and white that I wanted to break that up and just give a little pop of color. And that's pretty much it for this piece. And we're going to go into terracotta teacup, the next terracotta teacup. And as you can see there, I painted that in black and gold. And I think it was this blended gold color by Decor and just some black paint by FolkArt. And this one was, I was supposed to do this for another video, and I didn't get the opportunity to, so I decided to add this one here. And it's for New Year's, so I felt like, you know, it still would work now. It just doesn't tie into the theme of today's video, but I still wanted to share it with you guys. So here I'm taking a piece of, this came off of a flower pick. It's one of the petals, a gold petal, that I saw it and I was like, this would look like a cute bow tie. Because when I think about New Year's, of course I think about, you know, apple cider or champagne, whatever your preference is, and bow ties. I don't know why, and top hats, things like that. I don't know why that is what comes to me. So when I saw this, I was like, this would be a really cute, make a really cute bow for this. And I'm just scrunching it together with some hot glue. And then I'm going to take some of my embellishments here, gold embellishments I had in my stash. I think I may have ordered these off of Temu or Amazon. I think it was Temu, because I got like a whole bunch of them for really inexpensive. And I mean, this is probably about 2 or 3 years ago I ordered these. So I'm just going to take the little half gold bead and put that right in the middle of the bow. we're going to glue that right to the front of our terracotta teacup. And then I'm going to take some of these stars because I don't know why, but I just felt like it needed stars. And I guess I'm thinking about the fireworks and the celebration of New Year and things like that. So it just worked. If you guys can let me know once you guys get in the final reveal how you feel about it. But I just add a couple of stars to it. And this is me just playing around with the placement because I wanted to kind of put them all over, but then I was like, no, you're not really going to see it. And I didn't want it to be too busy. So I just decided to kind of make them like buttons going down the center. And one of them was a little off. I didn't realize it until later. But yeah, so that's how we did that. And I like it. So here I had this cute champagne ornament. Again, it could be apple cider ornament that I have found at Kroger's. And I took one of these the little bows that for presents, and I'm just gonna put that on the top as if it's exploding. I was talking with Linda from Linda's Crafting Corner, and I was telling her about this, and she was saying, what if you use like a bow thingy? So I was like, oh yeah, that would be pretty cool to do. I was actually going to use some Chanel stems or pipe cleaners to do it. So this is a nod to Linda. Thank you for that. All right. So here is everything, Lovies. We are in the final reveal. I want to thank you guys for taking this ride with me. I know this was a bit of a lengthy video, and I do apologize for that. My editing was a little rusty and everything, and I just was kind of all over the place trying to get this piece together for you guys. So I do hope you stuck around, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have a favorite of today, I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know. If you didn't have a favorite, I want to hear that too. And let me know, guys, if you want to see more winter decor ideas or just regular everyday decor. Valentine's, I do have a Valentine's Day video. I just don't know when I'll be able to get it up. I'm hoping sometime after this one, not too far after it. But there is a lot still going on right now, so just be patient with me, guys. I'm trying to make my way back. It is just it's just hard. So but hopefully I'll be able to get that together for you guys, because I do want to do at least one Valentine's Day video, which it's actually decor that I feel like you could keep up all year long, or you can tailor it to make it your own. So yeah. But here is our vase, which I absolutely think is stunning. I love that etching of the home on there. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. But again, I do like all the projects of today. So it's really hard for me to pick a favorite. I'm just really glad I was able to bring this to you guys. It was very relaxing and calming for me to craft. Because crafting is my therapy. It is what helps centers me and keeps me calm. And so I was really, really grateful to be able to sit to my crafting table and just come up with whatever. I really didn't care what it was. I was just so happy to just create something. When God gives us a gift, we have to use it. And I was so happy to be able to bring these to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy them. And if you haven't already done so, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and hyping this video. If you wish to support me in other ways, this is how you can do it, by buying me a coffee if you can't. I just appreciate you being here today with me. Until the next time, lovies, hugs and kisses. XOXO. Bye.